battle. You see my victory. When all I see is the mountain, you see a mountain moved. And as I walk through the shadow, your love surrounds me. There's nothing to fear now, for I am safe with you. So when I'll fight on my knees, with my head lifted high. Oh God, the battle belongs to you, and every fear I lay at your feet. I'll sing through the night. Oh God, the battle belongs to you. And if you are for me, who can be against me? Yeah. For Jesus, there's nothing impossible for you. When all I see are the exits, you see the beauty. Thank you, God. When all I see is the cross, God, you see the empty tomb. So when I'll fight on my knees, with my head lifted high. Oh God, the battle belongs to you, and every fear I lay at your feet. I'll sing through the night. Oh God, the battle belongs to you. Almighty fortress, you go before us. Nothing can stand against the power of our God. You shine in the shadow, you win every battle. Nothing can stand against the power of our God. In almighty fortress, you go before us. Nothing can stand against the power of our God. You shine in the shadow, you win every battle. Nothing can stand against the power of our God. In almighty fortress, you go before
I'll never be more alone than I am right now. Wasn't holding you up, so there's nothing I can do to let you down. It doesn't take the trophy to make you proud. Sing it loud. I'll never be more loved than I am right now. Sing it, Naomi.
Going through a storm, but I won't go down. I hear your voice carried in the rhythm of the wind to calm me out.
You would cross an ocean so I wouldn't drown.
You've never been closer than you are right now.
Hands raised, we call him
Jireh, you are enough. Jireh,
You
you
are,
are enough.
and I will be
content
wherever my Lord
in every circumstance.
You are.
You are enough. I'm already loved. I'm already chosen. Sing it out, say, I know who I am. I know what you've spoken. I'm already loved. More than I could imagine. That is enough. I'm already loved.
I'm already loved.
I'm already chosen. I know who I am. I know what you've spoken.
I know what you've spoken.
I'm already loved. More than I can even fathom. That is enough. Jireh, you are enough. Jireh, you are enough. I will be content in every circumstance. Jireh, you are enough. Come on, sing it out. If he dresses the lilies with beauty and splendor, how much more will he clothe you? How much more will he clothe you? If he watches over every sparrow, how much more does he love? How much more? If he dresses the lilies
storm that surrounds me. Just one word, the darkness has to retreat. Oh, just one touch, I feel the presence of heaven. Just one touch, my eyes were open to see. My heart can't help but believe. There's nothing that our God can't do. There's not a mountain that He can move. Oh, praise the name that makes a way. There's nothing that our God can't do. And just one word, you heal what's broken inside me. And just one word, and you revive every dream. That's right. Just one touch, I feel the power of heaven. And just one touch, my eyes were open to see. My heart can't help but believe. Come on, there's nothing that our God can't do. There's not a mountain that He can move. Oh, praise the name that makes a way. There's nothing that our God can't do. Oh, I know there's nothing that our God can't do. There's not a prison wall He can't break through. Oh, praise the name that makes a way. There's nothing that our God can't do. I gotta believe, and I will believe for greater things. There's no power like the power of Jesus. So let faith arise, let all agree. There's no power like the power of Jesus. I will believe, come on, for greater things. There's no power like the power of Jesus. Let faith arise, let all agree. There's no power like the power of Jesus. I will believe, come on, for greater things. There's no power like the power of Jesus. Let faith arise, let all agree. There's no power like His power. There's nothing that our God can't do. Hey, there's not a mountain that He can't move. Oh, praise the name that makes a way. There's nothing that Jesus can't do. Oh, there's nothing that our God can't do. There's not a prison wall He can't break through. Oh, praise the name that makes a way. There's nothing that our God can't do. Oh, say, there's nothing, there's nothing, there's nothing, there's nothing. There's nothing that our God can't do.
Will you put that in this atmosphere? The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? Whom shall I be afraid? Real simple song. I want to teach it to you tonight. The Lord is my light and salvation. Whom shall I fear? Whom shall I be afraid? The Lord is my light and salvation. Whom shall I fear? Yeah. Whom shall I be afraid? I will wait on you. I will wait on you. Yes, I will trust in you. Yes, Lord, say, I will trust in you. Y'all help me. The Lord is my light. Everybody sing, the Lord is my light and salvation. Whom shall I fear? You say it. Whom shall I be afraid? No, no. The Lord is my light and salvation. Whom shall I fear? No, no. Whom shall I be? I will wait on you. Raise your voice. Hey, I will wait on you. Yeah. Say it again. Say, I will trust in you. Yeah. Sing. I will trust in you. The next part goes like this. Listen, I want you to go home singing this. I will remain confident in this. I will see the goodness of the Lord. Come on, you say it. I I will remain confident in this. I will see the goodness of the Lord. So I will wait on you. It's not always the easiest thing to do, but I will wait on you. Oh, yes. I will trust in you. Yeah, Lord. I will trust in you. Yeah. Will you raise up your hands and receive Bishop James Morton? I will trust in the Lord. I will trust in the Lord. I don't know about you, I don't know about you, but I'm gonna trust in the Lord till I I will trust in the Lord. Hey, hey, I'm gonna trust. Keep on trusting in the Lord. I will trust. Oh yes, I will. Oh yes, I will. Oh yes, I will. I'll trust in the Lord till till I die.
Oh, shame is a prison, as cruel as a grave. Shame is a robber, and he's come to take my name. Oh, love is my redeemer, lifting me up from the ground. Love is the power where my freedom song is found. There ain't no grave gonna hold my body down. There ain't no grave could hold my body down. Oh, if you walked out of the grave, I'm walking too. If you walked out of the grave, I'm walking too. If you walked out of the grave, I'm walking too. Hey, yeah. If you walked out of the grave, I'm walking too. Hey, hey, oh, if you walked out of the grave, I'm walking too. If you walked out of the grave, I'm walking too. Oh, sing about it, yeah. If you walked out of the grave, I'm walking too. I'm following Jesus. If you walked out of the grave, I'm walking too. Hey. Oh, if you walked out of the grave, I'm walking too. If you walked out of the grave, I'm walking too. If you walked out of the grave, I'm walking too. Gonna hold my body down. There ain't no grave gonna hold my body down.
It's like you're looking through a telescope. You see where you're gonna be. Growing, getting better. You're not the person they see. Can't be mad at the things you've been through, 'cause they built your muscle. Now you're stronger than you've ever been. They can't stop your hustle. Your faith ain't never small. That's what brought you this far. See, you got your dreams and you got your prayers and you got your God. He gon' take you there. See,
my favorite. So, do you want my microphone? Okay.
I'm glad to know I've fallen really low on Mel's list of things she's proud of. So this is our testimony Sunday where we allow somebody to come up and share some things. Obviously, I'm not just like a normal congregant, I'm a staff member here. And what we're going over is a little different. I'm gonna use this as like my little table so I can scroll through what we have. But about maybe like 7 or 8 months ago, obviously you guys know I run our youth here, but also I've been assisting in all the outreach stuff that we do, whether it's leading it, whether it's assisting somebody who is leading it, or whether it's really not having to do anything because the leaders are so good at it. Steph Kreider, you're killing it. Wherever you're at, you're killing it. Nonetheless, we probably really have been going hard since spring. And throughout the year, I just kind of want to give you some accolades of what's been happening throughout 2023, just to let you know what's happening behind the scenes. You probably heard of some of these things, like helping out at Fairwood, like Value Life, like Fashion for All, Eastside Outreach, things like that. But I want to give you the numbers to show you what we've been doing this year, and hopefully encourage some of you guys to begin to volunteer with some of these individual branches. Obviously, we have our annual things we do, like stockings and things like that. But these individual branches are consistently working. They're consistently engaging people, not even just in our community, but all over the city. And I think that deserves some acknowledgement. Fairwood Elementary, we partnered with Fairwood Elementary for a while now, but this year especially, led by Lori Sturm, she has been really spearheading and making sure that we are doing things consistently. So she has delivered Halloween candy and Christmas cookies for the Fairwood staff, and that was recently. She's been doing so much to work with the Fairwood staff. Feel appreciated. Over 200 plus backpacks were donated. Thank you guys, killer. There was a group that went over sign. I think that's one of these pictures up here. Where's it at? That one in the corner. Yes, they went over and painted the sign and consistently have went over and done some work for Fairwood. Value Life from Steph. She's been serving 4 mothers in difficult circumstances raising babies, and and she wants to say thanks to the volunteers, the time, and the donations. Value Life is changing the lives of women and children within our community. And I know you're hearing like, oh, only 4 families? 4 families, yo. That's huge. That's future generations that are being poured into. So shout out to Value Life, Steph, and all of her volunteers. Fashion for All, if you don't know on throughout 2023. I wanted to say thousands, but I'm trying to be conservative. I don't know. I didn't measure it. Hundreds of pounds of clothes were donated to organizations throughout the city, especially in the winter. That's huge. Organizations like Sanctuary Night, Bantu Hope Foundation, Center of Hope, Riverview International, Faith Mission, and so much more. Huge stuff. In December, you guys donated and assisted, whether you gave money or brought coats. With that coat drive we did, over 150 coats, y'all. 150 in 7 days. That's crazy. That's crazy. Eastside Outreach, over on the east side in the 05 zip code, we partnered with J. Jowett Ministries to serve at their Juneteenth block party, hoping to do that again this year. Assisted with J. Jowett's food pantry distribution 4 times this summer. Assisted with Sanctuary Night. They had to move out of some storage space and things like that, and donated hundreds of new toys to the Somali Bantu Hope Foundation over there on the east side. 400 plus stockings this year too, y'all. That is crazy. So I'm here to say thank you for the hundreds of hours and dollars that you guys have invested into this thing. Thank you so much to the volunteers. I wish I could name every single one of you. I see you guys, and I hope I make you feel appreciated. But you guys are really switching the narrative of what we're doing in the 05 zip code. This is only the beginning. We literally have only been doing this as a full thing for like 6, 7, 8 months. And this year, hoping to be huge this year. So please keep praying for this thing. Please meet me outside by the table to sign up to volunteer. If you've already signed up to volunteer, get ready. Your email is going to be exploding this year because we're really wanting to do so much this year in our community and in our city. So let's do it. I'm going to invite up the man that Mel is most proud of. Everything. Oh, wait. Lori's going to kill me if I don't show you this. I'm sorry. I know. So, can you hold this, David? At Fairwood, they made a thank you note for us from the kids. Here, can you let go of that one? Signed by each of them. To you guys. Thank you so much for your hard work. I love you all.
Mel, can you come back up and give your intro to me again? I didn't hear what you said because I knew you were going to me, and I thought, oh man, Aaron's gonna feel so shafted.
Nice, but I'll do it in 10 years again.
All right, thank you. Aaron, I'm really thankful for you. I'm thankful for all your hard work, and seriously, if you want to get involved, this man is crazy. He came to us and he said, man, there's just need for coats. Should we announce it to our church? We just did all these stockings, and we're like, I don't know. Yeah, give it a shot. And he did, and 150 coats. That is great. The place we go out to in Kirkersville, they had all these super nice coats. They're like $300 a piece. And the guy said, oh yeah, we'll give you 40 of them for $300. So there are going to be women, young girls who are walking around with not just a coat from Aldi. I don't know if you shop at Aldi for your clothes, good on you. But these are like high dollar, super nice coats. So I'm really thankful for Aaron, just his vision and his heart for his community. So seriously, if you want to get involved, see him, reach out. It's awesome. Good morning. How are you guys doing today? Frigid day. See, I like the cold. I actually get in rivers in the middle of the cold, and I'm up to my waist in freezing cold water, and I love every minute of it. It's great. Throw a couple hand warmers in my boots, and I'm good to go. Anyone want to go fishing with me? Oh, Chip, let's do it. Start of the new year, and I'm sure all of you have many dreams and visions and hopes for this new year, right? Here is my daughter sitting in here today, and I edited her paper that she made, and it's a little hard to read, but here is what my daughter is resoluting to this year. If you can't read it, it says, in 2024, I want to get better at coloring, and I also want to fly. Yeah! You know, I do too, Eden. I want to fly. I wish, when I watched The Rocketeer, anyone seen that movie? Oh, I thought, if I could only have a jetpack, that would be so sweet. And I liked his little helmet that he got made, and I actually had a leather coat like his. She's looking forward to flying. And this is our very short series this year that we're starting this off, and it's timely that we're doing it at the beginning of the year when we're making all these resolutions, because we want to anchor the whole year in our phrase, in our word that we got for this year, which is metamorphosis. And Mel set this up last year. Isn't this graphic killer? That was hand-drawn by a local tattoo artist. He used to go to this church, and we talked to him occasionally, but Chris Carter hand drew this for us. And we told him that we wanted something that was dark, but that had light in it. And I think he nailed it. Like, it's incredible. So Mel last week, she talked about metamorphosis, and she framed it all in the stages of a butterfly. Are we just stuck the way that we are? Can we actually change? And seeing that the majority of people set agendas to change their life at the beginning of the year, it seems that no one believes that, right? We don't believe that we just stay the same. And hopefully you think, yeah, I can actually change. I don't have to stay the way that I am. And here is the good news today. And this is what my whole message is about. We really can change. What does it look like? How do we change? What does the Bible say about change? So here's our verse for the year, and Mel shared it last week. And the NIV fail so miserably on the translation of this verse. So I'm going to use the Amplified again as Mel did last week. And we all, with unveiled face, continually seeing as in a mirror the glory of the Lord, are progressively being transformed into his image from one degree of glory to even more glory, which comes from the Lord, who is the Spirit. Psalm 84:7 in the New Living Translation, they will continue to grow stronger, and each of them will appear before God in Jerusalem. Or in the NIV, we will go from strength to strength. You guys, anyone heard that Hillsong song? Oh, I love it. I sing it all the time. So, I'm going to give you a little theology lesson. Don't turn your brains off. Theology is important, right? Sanctification. How many of you know what this word means? It's quite a few of us here. Here's a simple definition. Being set apart for God, or referring to the state or process of being set apart for God. So theologically, there are two distinctions in sanctification. The definitive or the positional sanctification, which means at the point of our salvation, we are clothed with the righteousness of Christ. Yes. So God looks at us as holy and righteous because of the sacrifice of Jesus. There's nothing you can do to gain your salvation. We put our faith in the sacrifice of Jesus and claim him as Lord over our life. That's the positional, definitive side of sanctification. Now, this is the being part of our faith, and out of this, we should be motivated to do the things that we do for God. It allows us to walk in the second part of sanctification, which is the progressive sanctification. And this is the process of Christian virtue and personal godliness. This is the doing stuff, right? So, most denominations and most churches emphasize the progressive sanctification. There's a lot of emphasis on that, right? And it makes sense because in a community of people walking out our faith, we need to see tangible evidence that we are applying the things that we are taught on a daily basis. Are you with me? Have I lost you yet? All right. So, the progressive sanctification is the James verse of, I'll show you my faith by my works. Right? Works are important. They are important. The doing is important. The problem with overemphasizing the progressive sanctification is that we begin to think if we aren't doing things for God, we feel less loved and accepted by him. That is the danger. Why is this important, David? Why the theology lesson? First of all, transformation in our lives is promised in the Bible.
That's good.
See, sanctification isn't actually used in the Bible. It's a theological term that theologians said, how can we make a distinction between this positional and progressive side of transforming? The Bible uses words like transforming, growing deeper in faith. It doesn't use sanctification, but it's being split. So, first off, why is it important? Why the theology lesson? It's promised in the Bible. We don't stay the same. We actually can change, become more like Christ, and are, in this above passage, transformed into his image by his Spirit.
That's right.
Second, because it is important in my story, and I want to share with you the metamorphosis change I've experienced in my life. So, it's going to be a little different of a message here. I gave you the start, the anchoring, and I'm going to go back to this a lot, but I want to tell my story and how I arrived to be a pastor here on stage preaching before you. And I'll frame it all around this 2 Corinthians 3 passage. So, I was raised in a Christian home. My dad was a pastor, and at the age of 6, my mom led me through a prayer to accept Jesus. I remember it like it was yesterday. I can smell what my room smelled like. crayons. You know, like, I forget what it is. I think Legos, after a while, they start to smell like crayons, and I had a bunch of those. But even at a young age, I was so broken that my sin was why Jesus had to die on a cross. And immediately after praying to receive Jesus, I started my doing. I was so overwhelmed. God, you've forgiven me. You've given me mercy and grace. So I went out. I started evangelizing to the whole neighborhood. I really did. I wish I had a picture of it. I brought my friends to church. I slayed at Awanas. Anyone do Awanas in their church? Man, my little vest was covered in patches. I was becoming a fat little caterpillar from, as Mel talked about last week, growing exponentially in the knowledge of God and putting into action my faith. Now, all of the programs in the church I was growing up in were centered around this as being a good sign of a disciple of Christ. He's doing all the things. His Awanas vest is covered with patches. This kid is the most pure and righteous kid we've ever seen. Eat, get fat, recite scripture. Anyone like a good Bible drill here? Yes. Amy, I'm looking at you. I heard you. At this point, though, it was all motivated out of freedom and love that I experienced when I first received Christ. Back to 2 Corinthians 3. We back it up, the verse right before our anchor verse. But when someone turns to the Lord, the veil is taken away. For the Lord is the Spirit, and wherever the Spirit of the Lord is, there is freedom. The veil is taken away. You guys remember this when you first accepted Jesus? Things burst into color. It went from black and white to, what is this life? Who is this God that has forgiven me of my sin? It's like the blinders are taken off. I can see now. Such a beautiful time in my faith. And the doing at this stage came out of my being. I was loved and accepted by Christ, and I wanted all to experience that. I wanted to learn about this incredible God that wanted relationship with me. In Revelation 2, it talks about this as being our first love. Because when you first come to Christ, it's like, I will do anything for you, God, because I have experienced your love for me in such a tangible way that I want others to have that love. We'll get to this passage later. Such a pure and special time, and most of us would probably want to stay in this stage, right? It's a great stage. And even thinking about it now, I wish I was back to that stage in my life where I put on my little hat that covered the back of my neck that my dad had got me on some trip that he went on, because I thought that's what Moses probably wore in the desert. Can't get a burnt neck, right? But even thinking about it now, there's just a special place in my heart for that time in my life. But our faith needs testing. Our character needs to be built. And a big one for me and in my story is we must learn humility. It's not about you, David. It's not about you. All this doing, that's great. People get to see the reflection of me in you. But it's not about you. 1 Corinthians, here's how Paul puts it. 1 Corinthians 13:11. When I was a child, I spoke like a child. I thought like a child. I reasoned like a child. But when I became a man, I gave up childish ways. So, fast forward to high school. I started playing guitar and quickly started a band. The name of our band was Glass Onion, based off the Beatles song, which I guess back in the day they would put a little window in a coffin, and that was called a glass onion. I don't know. We thought it was cool, and it was dark because we were a grunge band. We covered Nirvana and Rage Against the Machine, played at backyard parties and local garages, and we thought we were so sweet. I was one of the first guys in my school to actually shop at Goodwill. That's right. Everyone made fun of me. And now all of you shop at Goodwill and have your unique pieces from there. It's so bad you go in now and clothes are like $9. Like, what is this? It was 25 cents when I first started to go into Goodwill. Now I'm sounding like an old man. Yes, I've arrived. I got a gift card because they published my article in our yearbook about how I shopped at Goodwill, and Goodwill sent me a $20 gift card, and that lasted 2 years. I'm really not lying about that. But my band, man, we were going to take on the world. Everyone in the band, we were all Christians, and we all went to church together, and we had a mission, right? We were going to be the cool guys that went to the parties, and we weren't going to engage in party activities. We were going to be like the coolest Christian dudes. Where do you go to church? I go here. Oh my goodness, I want to give my life to Jesus right now. Well, that lasted about a month. And there's something about going to parties and playing in bands, and you immediately get sucked right into that culture. It's as if community has sway in your life. And if you're walking with good community, it produces good fruit. If you're walking with bad community or people who are doing things that aren't good, what does that produce in you? Bad fruit. Wow. 1 month to dismantle 14 years of what had been built into my life. It got so bad that I convinced myself that if I talked about Jesus with others drunk, I was still doing the Lord's work. Well, if I'm drunk and I'm sharing Jesus and that person somehow hears the gospel, it's all right, right, God? Whew, man. I'd strayed pretty far from the David that was enthralled by God. And now my spirituality, because I was still going to church and around church people, and my spirituality and status with God hung on my doing. No being. I mean, how could I actually be with God when there was so much conviction on my life that I needed to change that? I didn't want to. I'll do a bunch of things so that I don't have to change, and people won't notice. I'll look like the shiny young David with the Awana patch thing on. They won't notice. So I can live one way in my life. And on the other hand, I'll walk into church and say, how was your week today, Brother Ed? Oh, it was great, David. You still serving the Lord? Oh, yeah. Yeah, I served the Lord so much last Saturday night at this party. It was much easier to just do and convince myself that God was pleased. Back to Revelations 2. I know your works, your labor, your patience, and that you cannot bear those who are evil. You have tested those who say that they are apostles and are not, and have found them liars. You have persevered and have patience, and have labored for my name's sake and not become weary. Man, this is a rock star church, right? This is what John was writing about. The church is rock star church. Look at all the stuff that you have done. Nevertheless, what does God say? I have this against you. You have left your first love. You're good at all the doing. Get back to me. The motivation, the being, get back to me. And this was my state. On one definitive night, my friends and I decided to get drunk and high, and I felt like I was going to die. Oh, that's a good lyric to a song. I was drunk and high and felt like I was going to die. Country song. That's a 2024 country song. I had a moment of clarity, and I made the empty vow to God. Any of you made a vow like this? If you get me out of this, I will serve you with my life. Anyone? I didn't mean this vow. If you get me out of this, I'll serve you with my life. I just don't want to die right now. I didn't mean it, but then the spirit of freedom was enacted in my heart. And here's what I heard the Lord say. Is this what you want, David? Is this what you want? He didn't say, you know what? You continue to go this route, it's going to blow your life up, and you are going to end up being miserable and empty and lonely, even though you're surrounded by a bunch of people. He didn't say, this is death, this is life. He gave me the ability to choose. Is this what you want? And I knew right then that I didn't. I also knew that I had to change everything in my life. I distanced myself from my childhood friends who continued down this path, and I was completely alone my senior year of high school. I would come home from school, play guitar, read my Bible. I felt alone in my social circles and wondered, why would I make this choice? Is this what I wanted? This was my first real cocoon, as Mel talked about last week, where the butterfly goes into this state where it's just dormant and it sits and it becomes goo so that it can emerge something else. Dark, lonely, feeling useless, and then God started to move. He sent me unexpected friends, and he taught me about his love again. He put dreams and prayers in my heart, and I discovered how precious the Bible was and how much hope and promise were stored in the words on the pages. If not for this first cocoon, I would not be a man that lived by faith, because I prayed some very crazy prayers in that time, and God answered in crazy ways. I mean, God put these prayers in my heart. I'm like, all right, I'm just going to throw it against the wall. It sounds wild and stupid, but God, let's put you to the test. Let's see what happens. Oh my goodness, you answered that prayer? Let's try another one. Let's keep going. Let's see how this works. Those prayers sent me to Bible school, where I was surrounded by people who loved God and desired just to know him. What a drastically different community from what I was in high school. They didn't do things for him to be accepted. They were just loved by God. And out of that, they blessed people and served in a sacrificial way. At the time, I made it on to a scholarship band, and we would go around and play at churches on the weekend. And we led worship at our school as well. And at the time, we were leading a lot to the student body. So at Liberty University, there was over 6,000 people that were mandated to come to a chapel called convocation. If you didn't come, you get demerits. And after so many demerits, you got kicked out of school. And no one liked to go to convocation. No one really liked to go. We went 3 times a week. And the band that I was on, we were leading regularly there. And it doesn't take long when you are young and pretty much new to the faith for you to think you're pretty sweet, playing in front of the whole student body. So there was one occasion where I was up there, and God had completely changed my heart. And so I looked at things different now, but I could sense there was pride. I could sense that I thought that, I'm playing in front of all these people. I'm sweet. Like, they're all looking at me. And I was getting ready to go into a solo in one of the songs. And I thought, you know what? I'm gonna knock this out before it overtakes me. So God, please humble me. Humble me. I don't actually want to make this about me. I know that my heart wants to make it about me, and you can see where this is going. The very string that I was playing said solo on broke, and
Holy Spirit.
I had to improvise around all the other strings, and I wasn't that good of a guitar player at that time, so it was the worst solo I had ever played. What's the Nick Jonas Brothers? Yeah, have you guys seen the Nick Jonas clip where he goes into a solo and it's like the complete wrong notes? Everyone Google it on YouTube. It's hysterical. But that was me in front of the whole student body playing the worst solo I had ever played. And you know what? It didn't crush me. I actually was very thankful. God, you heard me. I was corrected. You love me so much that you know that pride is bad for my soul. I gained maturity and that I didn't want my doing to become about me, but to give glory to God. Gain maturity. When I was a child, I spoke like a child, reasoned like a child. But when I became a man, I put away childish things. And I saw that maturity. My faith was tested in that moment. I realized, God, you are doing a good work in me. So I'm going to pause here and pose a question you might be asking. David, how do I get here? How do I do that? What's the practical step of getting here? I desire to live for God and not myself, and I don't actually know how to do that. So we go back to our anchor verse. Here's what it says, and we all with unveiled face, continually seeing as in a mirror the glory of the Lord. What is the mirror? The mirror in this passage is the gospel. That is the mirror. We are able to look upon the glory of the Lord in the gospel without a veil. Nothing obscuring it. We have the gospel. And what does the gospel say? You are infinitely loved, valued, and accepted, and it is not because of what you have done. Not by works, lest any man should boast, but because of what Jesus did for you. Amen. You stay in that state of being and realize that in your own life. God, I am infinitely loved and accepted and valued, not because of what I do, but because of who Jesus was and what he did for me. You gaze upon that, it will change everything in your life.
Preach it.
During this time at college, I felt like I was in the butterfly stage, right? I'm flying. This is good, God. I came out of the cocoon. You're doing a good work in me. There's maturity in my life. I made great, godly friends. I still talk to them today. One of my buddies is a crazy man. And I call him up, and the first thing he says is, guess what God did in my life this week? That's good. He lives by faith, and it has encouraged my faith so much. Every door felt open to me. I had favor with everyone. I wasn't trying to please God in my efforts. I was just overwhelmed with him, and I wanted to know more about him and serve him with my life. After a missions conference at one of these convocations, the guy stands up there and says, if you live in America, you should go over to the missions field because there's so much need over there. And of course, that crushed me because I want to serve God. And here I am playing an expensive guitar in a scholarship band. And like, God, I'm just going to give it all up. I'll move to wherever, Botswana, Mexico. Where do you want to send me? Where do you want to go? And I ran into this guy who was an acquaintance in the hall, and he was wrestling with the same thing. He was in a band as well, and what ended up happening is we both felt like God was saying, no, continue in this route. You're going to bless a lot of people with your music here in America. So we started a band. His name was Travis Whitaker, a dear friend of mine, and we said, we're not getting any traction here in Liberty. I don't want to play to a bunch of Christian people all the time. We wanted to split our efforts and do 50% in bars and clubs and 50% in churches. So moved to Columbus on a whim, and I met my wife second week in Columbus at New Life Community Church in Gehenna. I saw the back of her head, and that's all it took. When she turned around and I saw the front of her head, I said, oh my goodness, who is this girl? You have a very nice back of your head.
So romantic.
Isn't it? I write that on every single one of our Valentine's Day cards. It's going back to when I first met you and I saw the back of your head and I fell in love. 19 months later, we got married. The band that I was in we were rocking, like, it was great. It was a full-time job. We traveled all over the world sharing the gospel of Jesus. And we were finally at the point where we were getting recognition and label deals and record deal offers. And then Travis came up to me and he said, David, I'm done. Like, what? We brought on these young, very talented musicians, one of them Andrew Lee, who sits in front of me today. One of my favorite stories with Andrew is when I first met him, we're in the recording studio and his guitar was buzzing. Like it was, and we made this idea, well, maybe you just need to be grounded. And so he's recording one of our songs, and I was holding on to his leg and a metal post, and we thought that was helping grounding him from humming. Were you 18 years old?
I was 19.
19. So back to Travis, he came to me and he said, we're done. Like, the band's done. Ultimately meaning the band had to end. So I was 1 year married with no job. And I remember really struggling to God. Why would you do this? I trusted him, but this was a dream of mine, God. Since I first started picking up guitar, I was going to evangelize to the whole world with this instrument. And I thought that this was the only way that I could do that, was in this band. Why would God take away my dream and my family livelihood? Amanda and I at the time were searching for a church, and we felt displaced from all of our other stable community. And this is comical now. At the time, it was not comical. But the only job that contacted me after filling out 40-plus applications in Columbus and sending out my resume to over 900 churches. I'm not joking. That was our mailing list that we had for Station 2. Sent my resume out to over 900 churches, was Home Depot for a 4 a.m. to 8 a.m. stocking job. The man and I sat across each other at the table, and I said, I've got to do it. I have to show you that I will take whatever. And we both just sat there, wept. Our tears are dripping on the table. Like, I'm going tomorrow. I'm going to tell him I'm taking the job. Okay. Back in the cocoon. God, is this what you want? Is this what you want? From playing world stages, we played the largest church in the world. We played on that stage. 15, huh? I did. They put Andrew like on the ground like he was, you're not good enough because you're not singing. Yoido Full Gospel in South Korea. It was 15 services, and there's 20,000 people in each service, and we played their young adults, 20,000 people. They had pews, and there was no room to sit. Is this what you want? Playing the largest churches in the world to not even being able to provide for my family. I was lonely, vulnerable, and left with dead dreams. And then God started to move. You see a pattern here? Cocoon, desperation. What are you doing with me, God? I don't like this. God starts to move. We found life. I came on staff as a pastor, and man, I saw God do incredible work in our church, in my own life, and in my family. I was flying again, back to the butterfly. And at this stage, I felt like I was at a whole different place of maturity. The doing came out of my being, and I was quick to correct that when I felt like God wanted me to. I was over the music and the creative side of our church, and I loved the work that I was doing and was very capable at it. I loved it. God, can I just stay here for a while? And I did. How many years did I stay there? 9, 10 years? Things were good. And then back in 2018, I got in a life-altering wreck on my motorcycle. Broke pretty much the right side of my body, left my arm paralyzed. And this was the most powerful character-building event that I have ever experienced. Not only did the circumstances strip me of my doing, but my physical ability was gone. Guys, I was in a wheelchair for 3 months. Couldn't move my arm. I had to realize that I had based a lot of my worth on what I could do or offer to other people. And that also reflected in my relationship with God. I was only valuable to the extent that I could be used. My kids completely destroyed this idea. Going from a dad who would get down on the floor with them and wrestle, throw balls with them, do whatever I could do physically with them, and now we have a hospital bed in the first floor of our house. And every morning my kids would come down, crawl up in my hospital bed, and they say, "Dad, can you tell me a story?" They adjusted. And isn't that the heart of God? Many nights I relied on the Spirit to interpret my unintelligible prayers. I begged for God to heal. And guess what? He did. We talked about this yesterday. I went to therapy in Gehenna. And at the time, I was on a treadmill, just barely trying to get it because my leg was my first real hurdle. And I told the lady, I said, "You know what? Someday I'm going to run again." And she looked at me and she goes, "I don't think that's going to happen." Like, oh, well, that sucks. You're supposed to say, like, "Yeah, you're going to run again. That's the carrot in front of my face, right? You're going to leap." And guess what? I can run again. Take that, Chris. No, she is a lovely lady, and I'm very thankful for her. On one of the probably most devastating nights that we had within my wreck, I gotten over the leg hurdle, and I was trying to work out the arm hurdle of what do you want me to do? Because my arm, I couldn't do anything. Like, the only thing I had when I came out of my wreck was this, barely. Everything else was gone. So we had someone come to our house and basically say, outside of medical intervention, your arm will never move again. And that's pretty heavy words to hear when you play guitar and do a lot of things with your right arm. I'm right arm dominant, everyone. So I have to eat with my left hand and talk on the phone with my left ear. I mean, it's weird. You guys try eating with your undominant hand. So anyway, we called my family, and you guys have heard this story before, but we called them, and they're all saying, "We're sending you to the best doctors. You're going to get the best help." And I could barely get the words out. I was still in that unintelligible speech, prayers, and I said, "No, I don't want another doctor. I need God." So my sister read this. Ezekiel 37. I want you guys to close your eyes as I read this to you. Band, you can come up now. "The hand of the Lord was on me, and he brought me out by the Spirit. And the Spirit of the Lord set me in the middle of a valley. It was full of bones. He led me back and forth among them, and I saw a great many bones on the floor of the valley, bones that were very dry. And he asked me, 'Son of man, can these bones live?' I said, 'Sovereign Lord, you alone know.' He said to me, 'Prophesy and say to them, dry bones, hear the word of the Lord. This is what the sovereign Lord said to these bones. I will make breath enter you. You will come to life. I will attach tendons to you and make flesh come upon you and cover you with my skin. I will put breath in you, and you will come to life. Then you will know that I am the Lord. I prophesied as I was commanded. And as I was prophesying, there was a noise, a rattling sound, and the bones came together, bone to bone. I looked, and tendons and flesh appeared on them. Skin covered them, but there was no breath in them. Then he said to me, prophesy to the breath. Prophesy, Son of Man, and say to it, this is what the sovereign Lord says. Come, breath from the four winds, and breathe into these slain that they may live. So I prophesied as he commanded me, and breath entered them. They came to life, and they stood up on their feet, a vast army. And he said, Son of man, these bones are the people of Israel. They say, our bones are dried up, and our hope is gone, and we are cut off. Therefore prophesy and say to them, this is what the sovereign Lord says. My people, I'm going to open your graves, bring you up from them. I will bring you back to the land of Israel. Then you, my people, will know that I am God. When I open your graves and bring you up from them, I will put my spirit in you, and you will live. I will settle you in your own land. Then you will know that I, the Lord, have spoken, and I have done it. You can open your eyes. The second she finished that passage, I'm sitting there with my arm, and my tricep starts to flinch. The one nerve that was severed, according to this expert, my tricep starts to flinch. These crazy prayers that I had prayed about healing, God had heard and was answering, is still answering today. And it wasn't just my wife that felt it. Her mom and her dad were there, and I couldn't even get the words out. I'm like, and her mom came over and felt my tricep, and we all started weeping. God, you have heard. And I want a tattoo similar to this graphic that you see up here. Hope out of death, life out of darkness, something beautiful out of something horrible. And I would never be up in front of you today if it wasn't for this cocoon. As Mel said last week, all the DNA was there for me to emerge the man that I am today because of all the work the Lord had done in me in the past and in my story. This is good news, hopefully, to you today. I've changed a lot from the little David evangelizing to his whole neighborhood to the man that I am that you see before you. And man, I have experienced so much depth in my relationship with God in the cocoon. It's been a recentering for my life. It's, David, you are loved and accepted and valued for who you are, not for what you do. Do you know that? Well, I thought I did. Well, I'm reminding you again. So my point of this story today is I have done this myself. Many times I have done this myself, and it has always produced good fruit in my life. So before we're led in response, I want to take communion. You guys have your communion here. Did you guys know that as early as 1400 BC, there were mirrors? Look at that. That's a mirror from 1400 BC. It's Egyptian. And I was reading this passage this week, and I said, how does Paul know how to write about mirrors? Well, they had been around for a really long time. So I felt uneducated in my history this week. But they were made of burnished metal, and they reflected things with great brilliancy and distinctiveness. The gospel reflects the glory of the Lord, and by gazing on the gospel, we can see the glorious plans and perfections of God as bright and clear and brilliant as the light reflected from the burnished surface of the mirror. And this is what transforms us into the image of Christ. Jesus, you are so worthy. I want to be like you. I want to imitate you and live as you did. So as we take communion today, this is my simple prayer, is that thank you, Jesus, for coming to earth and giving us an example of how to be and live. So let's take a little cracker that represents the flesh of Christ. And let's drink the juice that is representative of the blood that was poured out for us. So we're going to respond today, and first I want to give you the opportunity to receive Jesus. So you guys can close your eyes. Romans 10 says this: if you declare with your mouth Jesus is Lord and believe in your heart that God raised him from the dead, you will be saved. For it is with your heart that you believe and are justified, and it is with your mouth that you profess your faith and are saved. It is that easy today to accept Jesus. If that is you, I'm not going to ask you to raise your hands. Just follow along with this prayer. God, I don't know you. Here's the prayer. God, I accept you today. I confess with my mouth, and I believe in my heart that Jesus, you are who you say you are. That you are the Son of God, and you came and lived a perfect, righteous life here on earth. You were crucified, and you were resurrected into new life. So God, I believe that today. Come into my life. Save me. Let today be the day of salvation in my life, Lord. Lastly, here's how we're going to do the rest of the response. If any part of my story resonated with you and you need prayer for that, we're going to have a team down front to pray for you. So team, if you could come down. When I was reading Ezekiel 37 this week, I kept on thinking about prophesy, continue to speak it out. And as Ezekiel prophesied, as the Lord had commanded him, breath entered and the people came to life. Maybe you feel like you're in this place where there is death and hurt and pain and sorrow, and you're where I was at. God, I don't understand. Start to move in my life. We're going to have people up here that can pray for you. And if not, I love you guys. Third floor, welcome to life, and we will see you here again next week.